On this week's 2-minute tip, we're talking monogerm versus multigerm. So beet seed and chard seed are naturally what we call multigerm seeds. And multigerm means that each seed contains more than one embryo. So if you plant that seed, you're going to end up with more than one seedling, usually anywhere from 2 to 5. Since these multigerm seeds are producing more than one seedling or plant per seed, that means they're going to require some form of thinning at some point. That thinning is going to be necessary to ensure we get consistently sized plants or produce. In this case with the beets, we want to make sure we get nice round beets that are relatively all the same size along the row. And to do that, we need those plants evenly spaced along the row. So we have to go in there and thin those to make sure they're all about 4 to 6 inches apart. Now the necessity of this thinning process is one of the reasons why I've always liked to grow beets from transplants. I'd much rather do that thinning process here in the greenhouse, where I can kind of stand up and lean over the tray and do it that way, as opposed to waiting till they germinate in the field and getting out there on my knees and kind of looking down there and picking them apart that way. So beets, like this kestrel variety here, are naturally multigerm. But we do have monogerm varieties available. And these monogerm varieties were isolated in the 1900s mainly for the sugar beet industry to allow them to direct seed these beets without having to do all this field thinning. So these monogerm varieties here were a mutation they found in the normal beet crop. Very rare, but they were able to isolate them and start to mass produce those seeds, so you could plant these guys and only get one plant or one seedling per seed that you plant. So if you like to direct seed your beets into the ground, then you want to go with this solo variety here, this monogerm variety. That way you can plant your beets in the ground at the desired plant spacing, and when they come up, you don't have to worry about thinning them at all. They're good to go from there. Now, if you don't mind thinning and you like to grow them in the greenhouse from transplants, go with the multigerm variety like this kestrel here. You can thin them in the trays, and then you'll have one plant per cell. And when those transplants get ready, you can just put those plugs in the ground and you'll be good to go. So choose the beet variety that works best for your growing situation or your preferred growing method. Both of these varieties here, the kestrel and the solo beet, are nice improved varieties that have an excellent disease package. They're resistant to many of your mildews, cercospora, and rhizoctonia, so they're going to give you some nice disease resistance, but also give you a really great tasting beet. I'll put some links below so you can check both of these varieties out, and I hope you enjoyed this week's 2-minute tip. We'll see you next week.